Hi, everybody. This week we were asked to think about the role of a social worker with regards to the pharmaceutical field. This is a particularly critical role that is not always understood by either sector. In fact, the role of a social worker, particularly in the life of somebody who's dealing with the chaos and confusion of a mental or health-related issue, is vital as we are generally the only profession that is truly taking a biopsychosocial approach to one's care. Collaboration between the social worker and the medical professional, including the pharmacist, has a tremendous opportunity to achieve a more comprehensive physical and mental health care goals, not only for the patient, but perhaps for their family and loved ones and support systems as well. With a greater acknowledgement in the value of a holistic approach to healthcare comes the navigation of seemingly different specialists who have historically operated side by side, but not necessarily collaboratively, despite operating and having the same outcome goals. For instance, a social worker and a pharmacist may both be working to increase the quality of life for a patient, but while one is primarily operating from a medical model of care, the social worker is looking for more global aspects of the impact on a person's life. This may mean that the social worker can be a really valuable resource for a patient who's opting to try medication or address a mental health issue, perhaps for the first time. Understanding the pharmacokinetics, or how the body responds to a medication, and the pharmacodynamics, or how the drug impacts the body, can make a tremendous difference in whether or not a person takes a medication, starts a medication, or maintains a medication over time. The social worker also has a unique perspective of understanding the psychosocial impacts that can influence whether or not a person takes or continues to take a medication. For example, a person's family and loved ones can have a huge impact on their treatment, including the use of psychotropic medications. And by being knowledgeable about the various medications used for mental health treatment, a social worker has the ability to answer questions about medications, about side effects, affordability, and even accessibility. And while a pharmacist will undoubtedly be a valuable resource, the social worker may have the relationship that's necessary for the communication to start. The need for interprofessional collaboration, particularly when working with a person who's experienced a health or mental health crisis, can just not be understated at this point. So I've been medication certified for about 20 years. This means that I've been certified by the Department of Children and Families to be able to administer medications to children in my care. And this has been an invaluable skill. As a result, I've been trained in the different types of psychotropic medications, what their side effects are, what their interactions with other drugs and foods are. I'm aware of how these medications are metabolized in the body, how they're supposed to help a person, how to give them, and when to give them. And while this is all very helpful for me to understand, I have honestly found that the most important piece of this role is to make sure that the people who I'm supporting, these kids, know the medications that's going into their bodies, knows why they're taking these medications, and how they're supposed to help them. Too often we are prescribed a medication, we're given the script, we go get it filled, and we follow doctor's orders. But if we're truly operating in a holistic manner and subscribing to the biopsychosocial approach of social work, then we cannot in good faith ignore the impact that medications have on a person as a whole. And regardless of whether you're working in a micro or a macro environment, we have an ethical responsibility to the dignity and worth of a person by upholding their right to self-determination, including knowing and having a say in their medical treatment. Thank you so much. My voice is a little rough today, so I apologize, but I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of your posts. Take care and be well.